What is up, everybody? Escape211 here, and today we are going to do a comparison of a couple mechs that are very similar, like we did the Ares and Juggernaut before. This time we're going to cover Guardian and Zephyr. Now, like I said, both these mechs are very similar. They have a very similar ability. They deal a lot with crowd control and just stopping the other enemy mechs so that you and your teammates can finish them off. So they're a great one to compare against each other. And my Zephyr and my Guardian are both at 4 stars, so it should be a pretty even comparison. So let's start with the stats. Now, if we look at Guardian, which I now have at 4 star, he has a decent amount of health, and he's, not the greatest of speed, a little bit slower, and his ability has a length of cooldown here, which isn't exactly the best, but it's not too bad either. And he has 20 energy here, so that's where he is at 4 star. Now, if we shift over to Zephyr, we will see that he has less health, about 10k less health, but he's a little bit faster, so that's good. So both of those are about even. His ability seems like it cools down a little bit quicker, so that is a plus for him. But he is also at 4 star and only at 16 energy. So I think between the two, it kind of goes back and forth. I want to edge it in favor of Guardian because he already has 20 energy at 4 star and more health though. Even though he's a bit slower than Zephyr, I don't think the speed for Zephyr does a whole lot for him to make him better than Guardian in this instance. So the overall general stats would go to Guardian. Now let's look at the ability. Both of these abilities are fairly similar, but there's some key differences. Now let's start with Guardian, like we did before. Guardian's ability is System Shock, which will actually put all weapons and abilities of your opponents within the radius on cooldown. Now the radius or the distance for Guardian is 30 meters, so it's not that far, but it can go through walls and it's not too bad. And it will put anything on cooldown. That's all abilities, all weapons, even if they're in the middle of using their ability or their weapon. Or with Panther, if you hit part of his barrier, it will also turn it off. So it's very useful. It's a useful ability and affects a lot of stuff. Now, if we turn back over to Zephyr, his ability just really is like an EMP blast that freezes everyone. All right, his has a shorter cooldown and it starts right away. And when he hits a mech, it freezes them completely. It doesn't put their weapons on cooldown, and it doesn't put the ability on cooldown. If the ability is already being used, like a shield, the shield will stay up. But the whole difference, or I guess the key thought in all of this, is that with Guardian's ability, it will make sure that they can't do anything except try to walk around and get away from you. With Zephyr's ability, it completely freezes them in place. And that's really the simple way of understanding the two different abilities. Guardian's ability and Zephyr's ability are 30 meters apart, so that's the same. But Zephyr's ability actually goes 30 meters all the way around him, whereas Guardian only does it in a I think it's like a 90-degree wave kind of in front of him. So almost like a shotgun blast in front of him of, that distance. So there's a lot of things about Guardian's ability that's cool, but because it can have pluses and minuses, it's not always the best. So if someone's not using their ability, it's not really going to affect that too much. And if somebody has a short cooldown on their weapon, like a pulse cannon, or something that auto-regenerates, like a thermal lance, they'll be able to get their weapons back pretty quickly. Plus, Guardian, like we said before, is kind of slow, so he can't easily chase someone down. If it's a quick mech and he freezes or uses his ability, they can probably duck behind cover and wait for System Shock to end out before they can get all their stuff back, and he may not be able to catch them very easily. But with Zephyr, it freezes everyone in their tracks and allows you to lay into them, or if you're in trouble, run away. It's a very versatile skill. As well, there's also a fun trick that I like to do. If you can freeze them in the right instance, you can either shoot them on the side or in the back for added damage and really pile it on. Or if you're using something like a missile rack with Zephyr, it's really good to be able to hit a group of enemies that are all snug, fit together. So I really think that Zephyr's ability is better than Guardian's, even though they feel quite similar. Guardian's ability, even though it's good, it can have downsides to it, whereas Zephyr, I think it's almost always good to use his ability, where it'll either freeze them where you can kill them, or freeze them where you can run away, or pile on damage by hitting them in the back. It's just a better ability overall. So lastly, we want to talk about their upgrade and their progression. When you first unlock Zephyr, he's at 4 stars. So that means he'll only go up 1 more star ranking, and he'll get a max of 18 energy. And this is the kicker for me. Guardian starts at 3 star, and when he gets up to 5 star, it's 24 energy. When we are talking about these guys or other utility mechs like this, 18 versus 24 energy is a big deal. And even though with the 18 energy and the ability that Zephyr has, he can lay on pretty good damage with the enemy, he has to do it in certain instances. Whereas Guardian's extra energy that he has when he's at 24 will always be useful at any point in the game, whether he's using his ability or not. So with all of that said, you know, it kind of goes back and forth. Guardian would take first category in the stats, in my opinion, Zephyr the second because his ability is better. But in the end, I think Guardian wins because he has a better overall progression path than Zephyr. And I think the added benefit of the energy that he gets will trump the little benefits you get out of Zephyr's ability. Do you agree or disagree? Feel free to leave your comments below on who you think is better and why. And if there's anything else that you want me to compare certain mechs or certain weapons against each other like this, let me know. And we will see you out there on the battlefield.